Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Cold Pursuit. Let's get straight into the storyline. The movie begins by introducing a man named Nels Coxman. Nels has a wife named Grace and a son named Kyle. Nels is known to work as a snowblower in the city of Keohei, while his son Kyle works at the city airport. Nels also looks very fond of Kyle, who is his only child. The next day, Nels attended an event held by his company, where Nels was honored as the most exemplary person in his workplace. Meanwhile, at the same time, it turned out that Kyle could not attend to accompany his father because he was also busy working. After finishing his work, Kyle was suddenly pointed at and grabbed by two unknown people. Then they took Kyle into a car. In the car, Kyle still didn't understand what he did wrong. There was also a friend of Kyle named Dante who was being held captive. Then, the two strangers injected liquid into Kyle, which instantly made him unconscious. Seeing this, Dante tried to release the ropes that bound him, until finally Dante managed to escape. In the morning, the two men took Kyle to the park. They sat Kyle in a garden chair and put Kyle in sunglasses to make it look like Kyle was sitting relaxed. After they left, it turned out that Kyle had died from the liquid injected yesterday. After that, Grace ran to Nels, who was at work. Then Grace said that the hospital kept contacting her and informed her that Kyle, their son, was dead. Hearing this, Nels was very surprised and hurried to the hospital. When he got there, Nels still couldn't believe that the son he had loved so much was gone. The doctor explained Kyle's death as a result of taking too many drugs until Kyle overdosed. Nels, who knows his son's personality very well, certainly does not believe that Kyle died because of taking drugs. A few days after that, Nels was seen in his warehouse. It can be seen that he is still very depressed over Kyle's death. He feels that he has failed as a father. Even now, he thinks he will end his life with his weapon. But suddenly, Dante came and prevented him from doing so. Dante said that Kyle was innocent and did not know anything about the drugs. Dante apologized and then told Nels everything. Dante had previously stolen a bag of drugs and was caught by two people yesterday. While interrogated, Dante was so scared that he blamed Kyle, who happened to be there. Dante told them that Kyle was the one who had ordered him, even though Kyle knew nothing about the drugs. That's why Kyle was arrested. And then they finished him off by injecting as many drugs as possible so that Kyle overdosed. Meanwhile, Dante managed to escape and then hid in the warehouse. Hearing this, Nels immediately got angry and strangled Dante and asked who the person who had killed Kyle was. Dante replied that the person who had killed Kyle was Speedo. After getting this information, Nels immediately went to a club that was often used for drug dealing. Arriving there, Nels entered and pretended to be buying drugs from Speedo until finally, Nels was brought by one of Speedo's men to meet him. After meeting Speedo, Nels immediately beat him to a pulp. Nels then took the dying Speedo to the car for interrogation. Here, Nels said that he was the father of the man Speedo had killed yesterday. The terrified Speedo then said he was only ordered by someone named Limbo. After learning that information, Nels immediately finished Speedo off. Nels then threw Speedo's body into the river near Nels's house. The scene moves to someone named Trevor. We are told that Trevor is the big boss of all the dealers who do drug business in this city. It looks like he is going to take his son to school. While on the way, Trevor gets news that one of his men, Speedo, is dead, but doesn't seem to think much about the news. The scene returns to Nels, arriving home to see Grace, his wife, who is still depressed due to Kyle's death. Then Nels went to the warehouse to prepare weapons to finish off Limbo, the person who ordered Speedo to kill Kyle. After the preparations were ready, Nels went to the boutique selling dresses. It turns out that the owner of the boutique is Limbo. Nels pretended to be buying a dress for his wife. Limbo, who already had a bad feeling, immediately took a gun under the table to shoot Nels. Unfortunately, before Limbo managed to shoot Nels, Nels first beat him up. Nels tortured Limbo until Limbo surrendered. Then, Nels asked if it was true that Speedo was Limbo's messenger. The terrified Limbo said he was also ordered by Santa, who lived near the airport. After getting that information, Nels, without hesitation, immediately finished him. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Trevor is shown fighting with his ex-wife. It is because of the struggle for custody of their child. Here, Trevor says he will do everything possible so that his child's custody is in his hands, meaning that he really wants and loves his child. The scene then moves again to Nels, who is seen near the airport to look for Santa. When he got there, Nels saw Santa leaving by car. Nels also followed him by using a snow removal car. Then, Nels cut the road to stop Santa's car. After successfully stopping it, Nels immediately approached him. Santa, who thought Nels would extort, gave money to Nels, but Nels quickly beat Santa. Nels took Santa out of the car, and then he beat him up again. After being satisfied with beating Santa, Nels pointed a gun while asking if it was true that Santa was the one who told Limbo to kill Kyle. Santa, who was already dying, said that the mastermind behind all this was Trevor. Then, without thinking, Nels immediately finished him. After that, Nels went to his best friend, Brock Coxman. Nels went to Brock because Nels knew that Brock used to work for Trevor's father. At that time, Nels asked how to finish off Trevor. Brock replied that there was no way Nels could finish off Trevor because Trevor had many troops, and his guard was very tight. Brock then advised Nels to hire a hitman instead. On the other hand, Trevor gets the news that 3 of his men are now dead. Hearing this made Trevor very angry, and he thought that 3 of his men were killed by their rivals, who both sold drugs called White Bull. It is known that this city has 2 major cities, namely Trevor and White Bull. The western region is controlled by Trevor, while the eastern part is controlled by White Bull. Here, Trevor ordered some of his men to kidnap White Bull's son. Long story short, Trevor's men succeeded in kidnapping White Bull's son. Then, to avenge his 3 dead men, Trevor, without thinking, immediately finished off White Bull's son. After that, Trevor hung the body of White Bull's son on the side of the road. Trevor did this in retaliation for White Bull, who was considered to have killed 3 of his men, so that White Bull would no longer dare to vary with him. White Bull, who knew that his son had been killed by Trevor, suspected that Trevor wanted to start a war with his group for the drug business. That's why White Bull will avenge his son's death on Trevor. The scene switches to Nels, who is now with a hitman, as suggested by Brock. Nels talks to the hitman using his last name, Coxman. Then Nels paid the hitman to finish off Trevor immediately. Shortly after that, the hitman came to Trevor, but it turns out that the hitman is one of Trevor's men. He also told Trevor that he was ordered by someone named Coxman to finish off Trevor. After knowing this, Trevor remembered someone named Brock Coxman, who used to work with his father. Trevor also went to Brock because he thought that it was Brock Coxman who had ordered the hitman. Then, Trevor took Brock somewhere on the pretext that he would give him a job, but on the way, Trevor immediately killed Brock. Nels, who was at the tomb, realized Trevor had killed Brock. After killing Brock, Trevor now intends to apologize to White Bull for killing his son. Trevor turned out to have been wrongly accused. It was not White Bull who had killed his 3 men, but Brock. But Trevor's men advised him not to apologize, because it would be useless. But Trevor sadistically shot his men dead. This was done because Trevor considered that his men were disrespectful for daring to give advice to him. After that, Trevor ordered his other men to give the head of the person who had just been killed to White Bull. Trevor's goal of giving the man's head was to compensate for the death of White Bull's son. Not long after, one of Trevor's men came to White Bull's headquarters to deliver the man's head. Trevor's men said that this was an apology from Trevor for the death of White Bull's son, but White Bull replied that children must be paid with children. The White Bull finishes the man off. The scene then moves again to Nels. Nels looks desperate to go to Trevor's house to find a way to finish him. From a distance, Nels sees several people guarding Trevor's house. Then Nels saw that the glass of Trevor's house had a school address sticker. Here, Nels finds out that Trevor has a child who is still in school and that he can use it to take revenge. The scene then moves to the school, where White Bull's men are seen going to kidnap Trevor's child, but unfortunately, they are too late because Nels managed to kidnap Trevor's child first. Nels then took Trevor's son away in a van. White Bull's men, who saw this, immediately chased him. Unfortunately, White Bull's men lost track of Nels's car. Meanwhile, when Trevor found out that his son had been kidnapped, he brought the school guard to his house to ask about the chronology of the incident. The school guard said that Trevor's child was taken by a man using a van. Coincidentally, he recognized and knew the man's residence, Nels Coxman. Hearing this, Trevor finally realized that the one who had killed the 3 men and kidnapped his son was not White Bull or Brock, but Nels Coxman. Here, Trevor and his troops rushed to Nels's residence. It seems that Nels was also ready for their arrival, but when he was about to shoot Trevor, Nels was first held at gunpoint by Trevor's troops. When Trevor was about to finish off, the White Bull group suddenly came to attack Trevor's group, and a shootout ensued. After seeing many of his troops killed, Trevor tried to escape by car, but Nels immediately prevented him by crashing his snowmobile towards Trevor. Then Trevor tried to escape using another car again, but Nels prevented him by using a tractor. Nels stuck a tree into Trevor's car, so he couldn't go anywhere. The White Bull came from the front and shot Trevor to death instantly. After thinking all his revenge had been avenged, Nels left using a snowblower. But suddenly, White Bull came from outside with a gun. Fortunately, White Bull was only asking Nels for a ride. And finally, they left the place together. And the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.